You a Star Wars fan? Because you'll be amazed at number one, that a lot of women might be into the shit that you're into, but you're so worried about her judging you that you don't give it half a chance. But also some of the things that you're not into, you'll be amazed at how women would want to get into it because they want to get closer to you.
A lot of times they say shit like, "Oh, I'm free on weekends," or I'm usually free on Thursdays," or whatever the hell. So if it makes sense, then I schedule a date.
If she really liked you from the get-go, there would be no reward system you would have to look for to do anything for, right? Because it would automatically be there, And I like to do this in conversations sometimes. When you're speaking with somebody and you'll hear a girl say something like, "I'll never do this," or "I don't like this," or "I don't like that." And then you'll notice you'll say, "Nah, I kind of like it. I like it when blah, blah." And she's like, well, yeah, when you say it like that, I like it, and it's just kind of like, yeah, you switched up awfully fast for somebody that just really said they don't like something. And so, there's always been clues out there for fellas to understand, like, yo, if they really like you, they will change their whole political party.
They're not giving her real instruction. They're not letting her know what it really is. And most dudes don't do it. Most dudes don't say what it is because they're afraid to hear no, or they're afraid to bring up sex too early and all of this and all of that. But the bottom line is this. Either, again, and somebody said it, either she's feeling you or she's not. You understand? Either she's feeling you or she's not. We got to stop all this nonsense, man. Guys are too afraid to hear no, and it's like I'd rather hear no than to waste 2, 3, 4 dates and time spent, money spent, and all this other shit just to find out that you wasn't feeling me any damn way. You see what I'm saying? But so with me, first date is cool. If you don't want to do it on the first date, no problem. You could be on your period or whatever it is. There's a lot of things that could be off on the first date, right? It doesn't matter. But second date, you gotta know what it
is. For me, I like exclusive vagina to me. And that's because I don't want to catch nothing to have my later years messed up. And I like to stroke without no condom on. It feels great.
No.
So I like it.
So you like to be hugged by the sugar walls? You like to be hugged?
Yeah. I like that velvet, plush velvet. The smoothness. So,
but even then, Jay Roman, I hear you.
He don't get up for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So, and the reason is because he has to conserve his energy to do 3 full workouts a day up until his competition date. You understand? So when he's in season, he literally just works out as hard as he can. Then he sits on the couch and his wife brings him everything. The only thing she don't do is fucking piss for him, right? So what I'm saying is, it's one thing to have a wife that does it, because you said earlier, these were the words you used. You said a woman who says, "Oh, I rock with this dude, so I don't mind doing this." But see, it's a difference between a woman who doesn't mind and a woman who cheerfully wants to do it. Understand the position of a simp. Make sure you understand the position of a friend zone nigga. Make sure you understand that a man doesn't do anything for nothing. You understand? So run the game, be careful, and do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. And that's the right there, Jay Roman. And that's the problem. Your main chick should always be prioritized over all the new chicks. Right? The new chicks should not get preferential treatment. Right? So what would make it difficult for a lot of women is if you're giving girlfriend treatment to the new chick. Right? So this is why when you very first meet women, you have to establish boundaries and parameters where they got to earn everything. So that way, when the main chick is with you and she knows you're dealing with new women, she knows they have to go through the gauntlet too. They just don't get shit quicker. Like if
Juice on the mic, Kerry K set in the blaze, sagging. Miles Cunham with the game so tight. J Roman lit the torch, keeping it right. Manhood's the challenge, skill set to master. In a world moving fast, gotta move faster. Trap beat pounding 808, shake the floor. Guided by the host, wisdom like law. Kerry K drops jewels, the crowd enthralled. Words cut deep, no need for brawls. Miles Cunningham, tactic sharp like a dagger. Navigates the game, makes the haters stagger. Journey to manhood, no easy feat. Lessons from the masters, words concrete. J Roman with the keys, opens the door. Manhood's the path, gotta crave for more. Manhood's the challenge, skill set to master. In a world moving fast, gotta move faster. Trap beat pounding 808, shake the floor. Guided by the host, wisdom like law.
Right, what's going on? Yeah.
The sound and shit. All right, we good. I know you're at an undisclosed location. Are we good on the calls today?
Yeah. I got the phone lines open. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, good.
All right. So what's going on? What you got going on for the people, man?
Oh yeah, man. Make sure you guys go to Cunningham Elements. Make sure you get your soap and get your masculine identity eau de parfum and masculine identity eau de parfum sport. And go to shoplucario.com and get your online dating consultation with Miss Lucario and April MC, and also get the How to Master the Vetting Process program. Because if you don't have that shit, if you haven't listened to that shit at least one time in your life, like you're setting yourself up for trouble. So make sure you get that, man. What's going on with you?
Hey, man. I'm chilling. Real quick. We do have one free call, right? And
Okay,
I appreciate the individual for the donation. So we do have one free call. Also, real quick, on some real shit, there was a couple of individuals I did consultations with that I referred to Lucario in April.
Okay.
Ever since the motherfuckers did that consultation, I ain't heard from them. I guess I'm just saying. And these were regulars, for like a year.
Right.
They did the consultation with the online joint, and maybe they got one or two more to kind of put it together.
Right.
And
that's
do
it.
Your thing. Do y'all? I guess they out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I know for a fact that the amount of traffic, the amount of dates, and the amount of women they was actually that picked up. They said that. Now, what they did with it once they, you know what I'm saying, once they got the chick on the date, that's a whole nother thing. But the traffic picked up, the amount of women who were they actually were able to get out to meet them, that was picking up. And that's all you can ask for.
Right.
Beyond that, whatever happens when you and that woman link up is whatever happens. If nothing happened, it is what it is. If something happened, take advantage. It is what it is. But what a lot of guys are having trouble with is getting the face-to-face joint from off the app. And so I would highly suggest you go over there. And I'm just telling you, you know what I'm saying? So it's not me trying to help anybody do anything. I'm telling you for a fact that dudes I've did consultations with have benefited from it. So
what's going on? What's going on, fellas?
Go check that out. What's going on, fellas?
All right. Let me see what.
Hey, man. How you guys doing?
So what are we talking about today, real quick? Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. Matter of fact, real quick, sexual confidence, the missing piece for most men. We'll get into that in just a moment. But I want to hear from Mr. Justin, J. Roman. How you gentlemen doing, man? What's going on with y'all?
Go ahead.
Oh, simply, man, life is great. Life is great. So, yeah, people ask me all the time, man, how you doing? In the morning, I'll be like, hey, I woke up breathing.
Facts.
The rest of the day is what I make of it. So, I don't understand how people wake up doom and gloom every day. Life is great, and it's what you make of it. So, that's about it this morning. I'm happy to be on the show. You know, let's get it. Let's get it.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I'm just continuing doing what I'm doing, just helping you guys out here and improve your lives, and still plugging away on my my fourth book, and that should be
Nice.
coming out hopefully by the end of the summer when all the
Awesome.
editing is done.
Awesome.
So,
Mhm.
it's really
That's
nice.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, when people that you have interacted with, like almost 15, 20 years ago, come back and tell you how much of an impact you had on their lives,
Oh, yeah.
and all the lessons that you taught, and the things they remember, and I think that's pretty dope. And I have a lot of young men that I has mentored over the years that come back and say, hey coach, or hey Roman, thank you very much. This is my wife, this is my kids, or this is what I'm doing or something. And like, that's dope. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to hear. And they're all doing different things. Nobody can be somebody else. You got to be yourself. But you definitely can listen and get advice from other people. It's just if you apply it or not. So
Facts.
And I'm glad you said that. Just speaking of advice, even on this part of YouTube, we talk about dating dynamics, relationship, sex, all that type of shit, manhood, and that, I think that get lost in translation, the manhood part of it, because that literally has nothing to do with women whatsoever. And you have guys who are trying to get their sexual jollies fulfilled, but they don't know how to conduct themselves as men in the process. Who are trying to get their sexual jollies fulfilled. Hear that?
No,
yeah, we
my
do.
bad.
Echo or something. Okay. All right, my bad. Okay, cool. So no, and the point I want to make is, even with sexual confidence, the missing piece for most men, when we talk about, and I want to get you guys' take on just your take on what it means to be a sexually confident man, because a lot of guys think it's just strictly about putting your penis in a hole. And that's it, like the physical attributes of sex. Now, that's part of it. What can you do? What can you really do when you get down to the brass tacks? However, though, when we talk about sex, we all know that sex begins here first. But for everybody, you know what I'm saying? But especially women. So when we talk about being, a sexually confident man, the missing piece for most men, in my opinion, right, they don't have the mental or the emotional aptitude or just understanding of how to conduct themselves as men. And the byproduct of conducting themselves as men is they will be sexually appealing to some of the women they encounter. I want to get you guys' take on that.
Yeah, I think a good way to look at it is also to help get a clearer picture of sexual confidence, because a lot of guys would be like, well, what does that even mean? And I think it's also helpful to look at what the opposite is. Like, what does having low sexual confidence look like?
Right.
And because it's like, well, what's the main fear? A lot of main fear is performance anxiety, right? Like having a sexual experience and the woman thinking that he's no good, right? And then what I ask my guys is say, okay, well, if she thinks that the experience was no good, what does that mean to you? And if you keep asking, it basically whittles down to like, I'm not enough, not just sexually, but like just overall, like I am not good
as a man
enough. And so, right, yeah, just like as how he feels about himself, just in totality. And so I think having a good sexual confidence starts with getting that out of your head, really coming to an understanding that you are enough, and it hasn't anything to do with measuring up to someone else's standards, but how you generally just feel about yourself,
Right.
without it as a reflection of something outside of you.
Right. Sexual confidence, I think this is where a lot of the body count stuff comes in, because there's a lot of confidence.
Oh, facts, big time.
There's a lot of confidence lost in comparison, and I think The guys love to put up the front like body count is about trying to find out if a woman is promiscuous or not. But a lot of times it's about comparison, where like, oh, I'm trying to measure up to the guy, literally measure up to the guys that you've been with before me and all that other shit. And am I the best you ever had and all that other shit? And where it's like, you know, a lot of people don't even realize that as far as sex, like you're responsible for your own orgasm. You understand? Like everybody's responsible for their own orgasm. Everybody's responsible for their level of sexual energy. So, I mean, of course, the other person can help to stimulate and enhance it, but at the same time, you still have to you got to have something going on within yourself as far as confidence, as far as, you know, your own excitement for yourself and certain other things. And I think a lot of that is missing. I mean, to the point where, you know, I have consultations and I found out that a lot of guys, they don't even visualize how they want things to go. Like they can't even see, you know what I'm saying? Like they can't plan around it and they can't visualize it. And so it's like literally everything that happens to them is sort of by accident. And so it's
by
kind of
happenstance.
Yeah, everything is happenstance. And so it's like they're fumbling around life. So it's hard for them to have confidence with anything because they have no vision of how they want things to go, you know, and it's crazy.
I just think that lack of experience plays a big part, you know.
I think
a lot of
go ahead.
A lot of gentlemen don't have as much sex as they, you know,
but see,
believe
I don't think
to
it's
have
sexual experience.
been.
I don't think sexual experience. And I'll explain. But that's what I want to say this real quick. One free call, gentlemen. Go ahead, Jay Roman. I'll go after you and I'll explain what I mean.
Well, I just think the lack of experience. You can have a guy that's 20-something years old and he's been looking at porn. And so he believes that the sexual encounters should go that way.
Right.
Or he believes the sexual encounters should go the way his older brother was speaking or one of his friends was speaking. And, you know, reality is going to trump fantasy every time. So the thing is that your experience as far as the numbers or all that you have done, it does not play. More experience doesn't mean more confidence. Lack of experience doesn't mean, you know, more confidence. So that's the thing I'm trying to just, it doesn't matter the amount. It's just, you have to have confidence in self and understand who you are, period. And I say that in this way. We all know when we were younger, we was rabbit punching, right? You know, we would always rabbit punching. You know, I don't know about Justin. He seems like maybe he wasn't rabbit punching, but I know
I was
at a young age. I was just rabbit punching, right? You just rabbit punching. You don't know a lot.
Jack rabbit stroking. Now I don't know about bunny punching, but I was Jack. But go ahead, my bad. I'm sorry.
But even with my rabbit punching, I was confident that this could get done. You know what I'm saying? Like even with the lack of experience, the confidence was still there. And I think a lot of that has to do with self. And I seen a video where this is a lady talking to another lady about their sexual confidence. And she asked her, do you feel sexy to yourself?
Right.
First, right? So do you feel sexy? Do you look at your body and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? I feel like this person. Well, for me, that starts in my mind already. I feel like I'm the dude. I feel like I'm the man already. I am the man. I am the dude. This is where it starts. And so I wanted it's out of the experience. So it's not the actual number, how many times experiences you had, but that confidence has to start within self. And it has nothing to do with, you know, if you're a virgin, not a virgin, or how many women you done had. So,
right.
So to your point, I think a lot of guys, because we get calls from guys all the time who claim that they've had X amount of sex partners and shit. They be like, you know, because this is what I want guys to understand. Contrary to popular belief, for the average guy, 15, 20 women is a lot.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of guys
most guys die with
sex with. Yeah.
I was just saying most guys die with single digits. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Average.
So
the average is like 7 to 8 or something like that.
For their whole life?
For their lifetime. Yes, that is the majority.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of guys out here lying.
Yeah, Jay Roman, I know I feel you on that. Like, goddamn.
No. Okay, no. Like, no. Okay, let me stop. Just for the whole life. The whole life?
Yeah.
That's the average?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the average, it's like 5 to 7.
Yeah, something like that.
It's low. So, because here's the reality for most guys. Most guys will not get casual sex on a regular basis with women they're actually attracted to unless money or financial gratuity is involved. Most guys.
Right.
And it has nothing to has less to do with how you look and more to do with your behaviors. Guys don't understand. Now, your overall presentation, how you visually appeal to women, does that factor into the equation? Yes. But it doesn't factor into the equation as much as guys think it does in lieu of how you're actually acting. Right. How you act matters, because here's the thing. This is what guys got to understand about attraction. If you visually look like you can get women to women, there's an expectation that you're going to behave in that fashion. If you look like you get bitches, women that you encounter are going to expect you to act like that or behave like a guy who can get bitches. So when they talk to you and you're very fucking passive and you're indirect and indecisive, they're like, ew. Not him. Not him. This is what guys got to understand. That matters. That matters, because here's the thing about sex. Regardless of what guys believe, good sex or great sex matters to women, period. It matters. The experience matters. It matters. So the only inkling they can get from whether or not the experience might be something they want to get into is how you're acting and how they feel based on how you're acting. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. I just wanted to add on to something that Jerome was saying about that the mindset of having confidence, like, he just looking at yourself and really appreciating what you see and having full on acceptance, right? And just being like, I'm him. That can go to like, you want to keep it realistic and don't go into fantasy, because there's this effect, right? It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And it's a mental bias with where people with limited knowledge or skill in a specific area greatly overestimate their own competence. And this is something that I see in a sexual arena. Like, guys will believe that they are, a sexual god, and it's something that kind of like, what Zagin's talking about is like projecting this thing. Like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, but he himself knows he's only been with like 2 girls. You know what I'm saying? Or no girls or whatever, you know what I mean? Or it's been 8, 12 months, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I think part of gaining confidence, and I think this is like with anything, is having real honesty with yourself, right? Like when, you say like, you want to like improve, or you're like into like, say, basketball or playing guitar or whatever. And you have this belief of yourself, but your shooting is it's shit. You know what I'm saying? At some point, if you want to get good, you have to be honest with yourself and go, you know what? I actually need to train more. I need a coach. I need to take my, my team more seriously, or I need to, get on a practice, like every day after work, I'm going to practice my guitar for an hour, because the reality is I'm not that good. But having that radical honesty is actually how people actually get good. It's not just believing, and I think it's good to have a good, strong self-belief and like really cherish yourself, but it can't go to the realm of thinking that you're better than you actually are. I think that's a danger that a lot of guys fall into.
Right. Yeah.
Another mistake, my bad. Another mistake I would say that guys make, because I hear it in consultation calls and I just hear it on YouTube in general. They go out of their way to try and please women sexually so they can continue to have access to that woman. Like a lot of guys literally believe all I got to do is fuck her real good and she won't go anywhere. And here's the reality of it, right? And Mr. Justin, you hit the nail on the head. You have to be honest with yourself, meaning just because a woman is having multiple orgasms with you doesn't mean she can't have them with other guys. Don't stop believing. And Jay Roman, you said it earlier about guys wanting to be the best. And, I want a woman to tell me I'm the best, or I'm this, I'm that. And let me just say this about those words. Those words will have you believing you're safe. So even when women compliment you sexually, it has to go in one ear and out the other. You can't let that shit sit on your mind and have, yeah, I'm the man. She said this, and she understand that for a lot of you guys, you're a dime a dozen when it comes to what you're doing. Right? It's not like you niggas is changing a woman's whole life. Like, damn, I never knew sex could be this fucking great. A lot of you ain't fucking like that. So just understand that it's not that you're not satisfying a woman. Understand that there's way more to a woman being vested and wanting to fuck with you seriously than just what you're doing in the bedroom. Just understand that.
Right.
We do have one free call though.
Yeah. We got any questions or anything?
Nah, these niggas, nah.
That's because nobody's fucking.
Hey, you know what? I looked it up, man. I looked it up. It's not that I doubted you guys. I was just like, no, come on, man. That's like
but J. Roman,
that was a 1993 summer. Like, you know, like the average is just
J. Roman, you gotta remember you gotta remember what's normal in this Christian society. You know what I mean? Like,
well, they say 6.3, right?
Yeah. But what's normal in this Christian society is like maybe losing your virginity on prom night and then meeting your girl in college and then getting married. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what's normal in the Christian society. You get what I mean? Like so us, you know, knocking shit down, like you said, every summer or you know, throughout the course of the year and all that shit. That shit ain't yeah, it's unique, bro. Like it's kind of unique. That's why guys like us, that's why they got to come to us for the game, honestly. You know?
And you know, and no disrespect to them, but I call those guys late bloomers. And what I mean by that is this: when you have a limited amount of sexual exposure, and you have these, like, if you are a hopeless romantic, and you have a limited amount of sexual exposure, you're gonna have these beliefs that actually hinder you. You're gonna have these false beliefs about women and sex.
Oh, someone was just saying the phones aren't working.
Yeah.
No, the phones are working. 240-240. You're on live with the Manhood is a Skill Set show. Are you taking a free call?
No. I gave Terry. What's up, y'all? It's Linwood. I dropped Terry something.
Okay, cool. That's what's up.
Yeah, we can barely hear you. Are you using Bluetooth?
Yeah, can you?
No, I'm on the phone. I'm up.
Okay, can you hear him better now?
How's that?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. I have everything going through my regular speakers, guys, because my equipment is not working on the road as good these days.
Yeah, speak up a little bit, because it sounds like you're distant. I don't know if you got us on speaker or AirPods or AirPods, whatever them things is called and shit. But go ahead though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's get it on.
All right. So about the experience. First of all, happy Saturday, y'all. What's up? Big up to everybody.
What's up, family? DMV representing. Appreciate you.
Yeah. So Saturday, experience. Yeah. When I learned, that, how I got my experience with all the women was I was lucky. I ain't gonna say lucky. It just was happenstance, if you will. I went to the Navy. I went to Corps School, Hospital Corpsman. I was a medic. Then they stationed me in Orlando, Florida. At that time, that's where all the women in the Navy went to boot camp.
And they all fucking, all of them. Military chicks be,
and then
be fucking.
To top it off, they put me in the damn podiatry clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all recruits that were coming to see me. My bed had somebody 2 and 3 a weekend. I mean, I was 21, and I lived by myself.
You weren't professional at all, huh?
Bro,
$189. That's right. I'm waiting. $189 right in the back of base.
You weren't professional at all, huh?
He wasn't. I was on Fort Sam, right? It's fucking medical. It was 7-to-1 ratio, 7 chicks to 1 guy. I was 19, 20. I was both them ages. Bro, it was like you said, it was up. It was up. People was fucking like it was going out of style. It was, so this is why I don't understand. Let me just say, this is why I don't understand why guys is having trouble.
Yeah, not at all.
And it was like raindrops. It was like you can walk outside and get hit with some pussy. It was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
Let me tell you. I mean, it was like it was just raining pussy, man. I can understand, and there was no way you was not fucking in Orlando back in 1981. It was no way. These women came from New York, Philly, the damn
everywhere, L.A., Boston, North Carolina, Louisiana.
Every type of tattoo, having got whatever it was in there, man. And I'm gonna tell you, it got to the point where the word got out that I could be fraternized. In fact, I did go to what Kerry said, Article 15.
Did you get an Article 15? Did you get written up, bro?
No, I was a witness to something I didn't even know what happened. It was an officer who was fucking with one of the girls, a warrant officer. I was like, and we were witnesses because she kept saying she came to my house, which she did, but I wasn't there. The other niggas was there. It was just a whole bunch of shit. It was drama. And no matter what you feel, chat youngin, drama has been around since Christ, okay? So it's always going to be drama if you fuck up, no matter what the situation is. If you fuck
I
up,
know the statutes of limitations might be up since 1981, but you know, don't say too much now. Like
that was
but yeah, I mean, it's like you have to keep going. Like a shout out to Mr. Lucario, 25 a day. I say 50, 75 a day. Shit, talk to him in your dreams. It don't matter to talk, man.
This nigga said, talk to him in your dreams.
Yeah, you need to just talk. I mean, for me, it was like they kept coming to the clinic. I must have seen 40 or 50 women a day, young women a day. And a lot of them I seen when they graduated, and they was at the club, and they just came right around the corner. It was $1.25 cab ride right around the corner to my house. We went there, and boom, bang, and they went on back home, back to the base. The next Saturday I went, I met a young girl from, where was she from? Philly. That girl, fat as shit. Met her parents and the thing. She said, okay, we're going. We went back to my house. Fucked up, had to get her back, and she said, "Oh,
then what?
White woman, I got one for you," and she sent one over there. It was a conveyor.
Then what? Hold on. No, this is what guys don't understand, because those women, because we had orders. Some people, they had orders to be there for like a year, maybe 2 years. So those chicks know I can get buck wild here. I'm gonna be out of here in a year or 2 or 3. I can reinvent myself over there, right? So this is what guys. So that's a very attractive thing. This is why I never understood why people in the military got married. I never understood, especially young. I'm like, why? Especially if you're a dude and you get deployed, your wife fucking. I hate to tell y'all, they fucking. I've heard so many horror stories. They fucking. Sorry, that's what they do.
I want to say, Kerry,
while you getting shot at, they fucking. I'm sorry, that's what they doing. While you getting shot at, they fucking. That's what they doing. Okay, but go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad. I was to say that.
I wanted to say, Kerry, that exactly what you said. No matter what, they are fucking. When these guys go on deployment, the ladies are in the club and they're fucking.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
When they go on field trips or whatever, 2 or 3 weeks, they fucking. I was in
TDY, yeah, when they go out. Yep.
Field training. Yeah.
I was in Okinawa, and like you said, when they go out, they fucking. But my thing is, like you said, Kerry, I don't even understand why they get married. A lot of those GIs went over there and snatched up with an Okinawans and came back.
Bro,
same shit. Passport bros, order bros, whatever you want to call them. You go overseas, they were doing that.
Bro,
shit.
They was getting married quick, bro. Real quick, bro. When I saw motherfuckers getting married after 3 weeks of knowing each other, getting married after a month, getting married. I'm looking at motherfuckers. I'm like, what y'all doing? Bro, what it was, you had people that weren't having sex, and they just started having sex, and they got caught up in the feelings. And then you had other people that they just knew what it was. But yeah, it was wild, bro.
So just keep on, talking to him, man. Like I said, just keep talking, put your shit in, just keep it going, man. And like the rap song said, miss one bus, another one coming, miss one bitch, 3 more coming. So get it out there, y'all. I'm going to the Oyster Fest. That's right, I'm outside going to the
Get it. You out there in the DMV too? With them blue crabs?
Be chased. Chase, baby.
I'm a little envious.
All right, y'all. Holla, man. Good Saturday, y'all. Good seeing y'all.
All right, bro.
All right, bro.
Good to hear from you. All right.
So,
all right, we still got a free call, guys. Still got a free call, 844-672-7300. Still got a free call.
No, so let me make my point real quick. And guys, if you have a question, put a Q in the chat followed by your question. Let's get it, because if not, then we can just all, go back to our lives and do what we like doing the most, which is being off the internet. I like being off the internet a lot. So I like doing my thing here too, but I like my life too. So there's some things I just can't wait to get back to. But having said that, this is what I want to tell you guys. Go back to late bloomers. I'm not trying to make fun of nobody. That's not the point. The point I want to make with that is a lot of guys are very naive and gullible to what's really going on out here. Yeah, you're naive and gullible. And you move through life just blind to what's really going on. Even how you guys talk to women, like when guys say, "Oh, you can't talk to women like that. They're not the same, or they're different," or whatever the fuck you guys say. And my thing is, when it comes to sexual attraction and desire, it don't matter what walk of life a woman is from. It doesn't matter. She's gonna lean into it when she encounters that man. Yeah, y'all need to watch, and I think I said this last live stream, but you guys, watch the movie Eyes Wide Shut. And with Nicole Kidman and watch that movie. And the scene, there's the hotel scene where he's sitting on a bed and she's standing up and she's talking to him about the true nature of women, because he's gullible and naive to who women really are. And he's like, "You men, y'all think y'all," and she's breaking it down to him. Okay, watch that movie, because a lot of you guys, your women love to fuck. They do. So when we talk about sexual confidence, real quick, and I want guys to understand, even when we talk about flirting, how you flirt with women is tied to your level of sexual confidence. It's tied to it. So it's not just your physical ability to do shit in the bedroom. It's not just about that. It's about you expressing yourself to women with no shame, sexually, unapologetically, like, this is what I'm on, this is what I'm about, what's up, right? So y'all have to understand, if you guys are hesitant to express your sexuality to women, that leaves most women wondering, he must be a guy that don't know what he's doing.
Right.
Period. Because let me say this, and I believe you said something similar to this recently, Miles. This is what guys don't understand. Whenever you are speaking or you're interacting with a new woman, whether it's subconscious and or conscious on her part, you are being assessed and evaluated for sexual desirability all the time. All the time. Anytime you are around a woman, period, whether it's conscious or subconscious on her part, you are being assessed for sexual desirability. Women know when they are in a presence of a man that does something to them.
Right.
That makes them, they know that. They know that. And I can't tell you guys how many times I worked around women in a corporate environment where they would purposely avoid speaking to certain guys by themselves, because they felt like, if he get me, and these were married women who are in long-term relationships, he's so fine, he's so this, if he get me by himself, girl, he might say some shit to me and I might get fucked tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, these women knew that I'm feeling him, but let me avoid. Like when we would do outings, like when we would go off the site and we would do team building outings and we would carpool, women would not ride in the car with certain guys for the same reason. Like, I can't be in the car with this nigga. We might not make it. We might pull over on the side of the road to be fucking. Like, because these chicks was feeling these guys, so they purposely avoided being in situations where they could be seduced. Y'all got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Miles, I want to go back to what you were saying about the Christian culture and things like that, and
Right.
and the numbers. The truth of the matter is that most guys are just not players,
Right.
and the thing is that they think
And they never
should
will be.
right, and that's perfectly fine. Most guys just want to get into a relationship.
Most guys.
That's what they want. You know, like
Yep.
it takes a certain kind of person like to like that's their MO. Like they're just out here and just exchanging women like a revolving door. There's very few guys who are like that's their natural inclination towards sexuality and intimacy.
Right.
Most dudes, they just want a girl. Like and that's it. So they're out here, they're on this channel, they're on mine, they're on all your channels, as well as many others, just looking for the key to just like nabbing one girl. You know what I mean? Because they don't have the fortitude to be like spinning like honestly, like, you know, what do they call it in PUA? Spinning plates. You know, to do that takes effort. Like it takes energy, it takes mental energy. You have to have a very high sex drive, and not have it deplete you when you're using that sexuality. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a very small subset of dudes. But the thing is that culturally, these like rare men are propped up and saying, "Oh, these are special." So you got the guys who are not like that, looking at men that they don't really want to be, but they feel that they're pressured that they should be. And I think that's part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like basically trying to assume an identity that is not yours.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And that's a
There you go.
really big problem because now
Yeah.
you're fighting yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying don't talk to girls. Like, sure, like if you want a girlfriend, like yes, you have to take action. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But but to try to position yourself as a player when you know you're not, like that's problematic. You're not living authentically. You're trying to
And-
you twist your identity into something, and that causes tension. It's
Right.
not good.
Right there. And let me add this. And this is why I say most of men's insecurities revolve around sex, directly or indirectly. Because to your point, there's a lot of guys that have sexual hangups. What I mean by that is this: they don't want to deal with women that fuck a lot, that have a lot of sex, that live, you know, a certain type of lifestyle, but yet they want to engage in the same activity that they might find the women they want to have sex with in.
Right.
So this is why you have a lot of guys, even when they call up this show, The Real Game No Theory, and other live joints, they don't like clubs and bars. So even when you talk about being a player, that's a lifestyle. And I don't think guys understand that's a lifestyle. There are certain places you're going to find yourself constantly at because it's a purposeful, intentional lifestyle choice, right? So if you're like, oh, I want to have all this sex with these chicks, but I don't like to do clubs and bars, what that means is you're not really a sociable person. That's what that means. You're not really a sociable person. So if you're not a sociable person, that means you need to be very, very good at interacting with the women you do catch. And most guys, they're not good at interacting with women because they're not sociable, which leads me back to the late bloomer thing. The whole thing with the late bloomer thing is a lot of guys, the only way they typically get sex early on is if they got to date a chick for a while, months before they get it, or they got to be someone's boyfriend, right? And if you're getting sex that way, and then like you said, Mr. Justin, you're trying to flip a switch and become super player, and now you got a roster of 3 or 4, it ain't gonna happen like that for you.
No,
because the way the mere fact that you would wait that long for pussy means your view of sex, you don't have the right mentality to be in a casual sex department. Right. If you're waiting for sex like that.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say this too. I think because so I remember this lyric in a Outkast song called Humble in the Mumble Jungle, some shit. I don't know. Humble Mumble, that's the name of the song. So he said, speeches reaches those who already know about it, right? That's what Andre 3000 says. So the reason why I bring that up is because there's a lot of guys who, like you were saying, Mr. Justin, they're not actually players, and they're trying to twist their identity. And the reason why they think they could do that is because we're here giving the information. But again, we can still only speak to those who have an inclination to the practices of the type of guy that gets a lot of casual sex, or that is comfortable talking to women and can attract women and can date multiple women and have the bandwidth to fuck multiple women and all that other shit. So a lot of guys think that, okay, well, I just gotta, listen to these guys, and I could just, take a couple of hints or take a couple of tricks from them, and then go out and do this and go out and do that, because they make it sound so simple. But you hear these players and pimps, they be like, look, being a player, being a pimp, it has to be in you, not on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be inside. It has to be a part of you before you can actually make it happen. All right, hold on. We got 347. You are on Live with the Manhood. This is a skill set show. Name, age, city, and are you taking a free call?
No, I donated to KSAP PayPal. This is Gilberto 26 from New York City.
All right.
Gilberto. Yeah, you're right. We got it.
What's going on? What's on your mind?
So I was in the singles mix yesterday, and I spoke to this lady. I introduced myself. My name was Gilberto. What's your name? And I asked her, do you usually go to this energetic place where there's a lot of people? She said that she usually go to these places and meet people and talk like that. And after that, then I told her, well, when I came over here and I see you sitting here in this seat, I was looking at your lips and I was thinking, what if I get my lips close to yours and kiss your lips? And then she said that was too strong.
Wait, what?
Yeah, his story is that basically he came on too strong.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so do you have a question about what's going on?
Yeah, the question is, what's the reason she said I was so strong?
Because a total stranger walked up to her and started talking about her lips.
That she wasn't
this is what I'll say. Yeah, right there. Gilberto, real quick. And here's the problem with your question. Let me just say this about your question. The fact that you're asking, because you're basically asking, was she right? Did I come on too strong? That means you care about her telling you what she said. That means you care about the outcome, right? Mm-hmm. The reality of it is this: you ran into a woman who was not attracted to you sexually, period. Right? That's what you ran into. Now, and the fact that you're asking because she said, you came on too strong. What she's telling you is, I don't want to kiss you. That's what she's telling you. So if she's telling you, I don't want to kiss you, is that a woman you still want to talk to if you wanted to kiss her?
No, I think that's the lady that I say that if I were to ask for the date, she's not going to kiss me, so I wouldn't kiss. It's not a good idea to keep on dealing with her.
No.
Yeah.
You say it like you doubt it or something.
No, like, so I was previously I talked to Locario a long time ago about going to the flirt earlier when having conversations.
So right. So let me ask you this. Yeah. Let's say you did everything you did and she said, okay, and she gave you a kiss. Do you come and call on Saturday's show and say, hey, I said this and I actually got the kiss? Why do you think she kissed me?
No, I think
you're not going to ask that question, right?
Yeah, that's kind of weird there.
Right. But see, like, you have to examine your behavior and what you do, no matter if it's successful or not.
Right. That's a good point.
So you're not going to say, hey, how come she kissed me, guys? Like, why did she do that? You're not doing that. The thing is this. In your head, you believe that I did something wrong. If I had played it a different way, we would go out to dinner and we would have beautiful times and all this other stuff, and it would work out. The thing is, it's been proven over and over again. It's just that you guys don't learn from it because you guys are having experiences, but not looking at it correctly and learning from it. Yep. You believe it was going to be sunshine and rainbows if you did it a different way. All you're doing is prolonging the point where she says, now you're too strong, or no, I don't want to do this, or no, thank you for dinner, but I'll walk myself home. You guys prolong it to that point, but you never say, hey, why did that happen? The thing is, you stopped it ahead of a time. You said, hey, I'm wondering if I can kiss them lips. An interested woman would have been like, even if it was too fast for her, would have been like, well, not right now, we'll see, or whatever, or they would have been more interactive with you, right? Flirtful, I mean,
Right.
flirtful, but flirty and playful, like, right? Because they're interested in you.
Yeah.
If they're not, they're going to
Uh,
give you an answer like she gave you to end the conversation, and you just saved yourself time. You guys look at these conversations and the interactions as negative things. It's not negative.
Yeah, that's true. Also the second question that I have is that same time when I came to the bar. It was a bar in downtown Manhattan. So the lady that organizes the single mixer. I had introduced myself to her and to her what my name was. My name, I showed her what my name is. And I told her she wanted me to spell it. So I spell it G as Gilberto, G as good, and then she put D, and then she continued putting like words that are not like G as good, G for Gilberto, and it really annoyed me because I really don't understand what you're doing. Doing this point, what was the purpose of doing that?
Okay.
When I already heard my name, it was corrected, but the other, participants, she was took their name correctly and all that stuff. So I didn't react to it when I was in the store, in the venue. It's when I get back home, I say to Dan, like, I tried the best I can, and she was trying to.
Gilberto, real quick. Gilberto, here's the problem. You are too emotionally attached to the acceptance of others. It's very, very important to you that people are nice to you and very receptive to your presence. Now, there's nothing wrong with liking the way it feels when people are receptive to your presence, but you seem to be emotionally impacted by a person's rejection of you.
He's acutely aware of it.
Yeah.
Yes. And you act like you're doing something wrong. Now, what you just said, I tried the best that I could. That's what you said. That came out of your mouth, right? When you interact with new people, there is no trying. I'm just interacting. I'm being very authentic and genuine with who I am in that moment. I don't give a fuck if that person likes me or not. That's not my aim.
Hold on a second, Zach. Hold on a second. We're Gilberto, right?
Yeah.
Are you on any of these gentlemen's program?
No, I'm not really.
Okay, so I'm not knocking you. I'm not knocking you because some of you guys don't see the benefits, but then you guys call all the time, and I'm letting you know something, okay? And I'm gonna give it up to Zach. This is a skill set because the nuances of dealing with another person is vast, right? So I can't tell you a direct thing to say to give you this direct response that you want because you're dealing with another person. So it's best that you know yourself and understand the nuances of interacting with an individual.
Yeah.
Now, some of us have gotten really good at predicting those nuances, predicting reactions, or knowing where it could go. It would benefit you to get on one of these gentlemen's programs so you can learn more of the nuances when it comes to interacting with ladies so you don't have questions like this. Because I'm going to tell you right now, even me, sometimes I come off the top rope kind of aggressive like. But I don't need anybody to tell me that. I intended to do that. And I don't care what the result is, because that's what I intended to do. You understand? Yeah. So I know you guys try to take the advice, and these guys are great because they'll give you a lot of advice, but just even this question with sexual confidence, it has so much to do with what Steve always talks about is that heart in the mind, the vagina in the mind that you have to tap into, which has nothing to actually do with sex, but actually before that, mentally preparing them for you. There's a lot of nuances to it, and I think you guys underestimate how much it is, and that's what these gentlemen have their programs for.
Let me say this real quick, and this is what guys don't understand. And Gilberto, I'll pass it right back to you or to one of the fellows on the panel. Let me just say this, and this is what guys don't understand. The problem with the average guy, you guys think that a woman's sexuality is limited to how she looks and her body parts. That's the problem, and you don't understand that a woman's sexuality is there's so much more depth to a woman's sexuality than that. Right. This is why when guys make it seem like, oh, all you got to do is be cute to a bitch and that's it. Women are way too complex for that to be a valid statement. Right. So what's happening, Gilberto, and with other guys, y'all aren't really connecting with women. That's what's really happening. Where when you encounter women, there is nothing where the woman is latching on to and there is curiosity where she wants to know more. And part of it is when you guys speak to women, you sound very robotic, like what you're saying is rehearsed, right? Like it's not authentic to the nature of what's going on in a moment. Like if you meet a woman and y'all walking in an alleyway, you know what I'm saying? There might be something said that's different than if you're on Beverly Hills and on Rodeo Drive, simply because the environment. It's not to say you're going to be different, but what you say to her might be unique to that situation. So I said all that to say this. A lot of you guys, when you get into certain encounters with women, you're not really paying attention to what's really going on. It's almost like you have this script that you're trying to get out real quick. I'm going to say this shit. And you have this unrealistic thought in your head that this should work, or I hope it works. And when the woman doesn't bite on it, you automatically think you did something wrong. Back to what you said, I tried my best. What the fuck if I'm being introduced to somebody or I'm introducing myself to somebody, what am I trying? Carla, do you not understand that? Go ahead.
Yeah, I told her to write my name because she needed to write the name to find the ticket of the event. And I told her my name, how it was, and then she said, "Oh, I have like lazy ears today." And I was like, "What?"
Wait, she said what?
I mean,
wait. She said what? She said what?
She said that she had like lazy ears and stuff, and
lazy
like,
ears.
She can like, yeah, she's saying like I cannot really like understand really well what's going on, okay. or she's really
Gilberto,
really,
let me ask you a question. Gilberto, real quick. Right. The event you were at where you had to give your name, did you accomplish what you needed to accomplish? Did you get done what you needed to get done? Was that taken care of ultimately?
Yeah, when I went there, talked to this lady that I spoke with, because there wasn't too much, just two girls there. So I went there and do that conversation, and that's it.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, yes, a woman butchered your name. She was being difficult. But if you achieved or you accomplished why you were even there to begin with, you can't concern yourself with meaningless, minuscule conversations with females. You got it.
Wait, Zach, this was not a like a nightclub situation?
No, it's a bar. It's a bar where
it was a bar. Okay. All right.
Regular bar. Yeah, regular bar. It wasn't like a nightclub.
Oh, yeah. The woman you were talking to that you were trying to hit on. Is that correct?
No, the organizer of the event where you have to check in and tell your name to.
Oh, that's what we was talking like the host or something?
Was getting it wrong. And so when she did the introductions, she got the name wrong. And he's like, "Yo, I already told you how to spell it and what it is." And she made the comment of having lazy ears and all this other stuff. And really, like attitude and perception can miss a beautiful moment. Like her getting my name wrong wouldn't bother me, but I would have to correct her, and I'm going to correct her, and we're going to laugh, and it's going to be flirty, and we're going to enjoy that little moment of correction. Like sometimes you guys are like too hard up.
Was split.
Exactly. Hey,
I was
Gilberto.
I was
No, real
I was
quick.
planning that after the event is over and everybody leaves, I could go to the planner and give her my number so we can have a conversation.
No, caller, stop. Caller. Gilberto, do you not hear yourself? You said when everybody leaves, go to the planner to give her my number. So you literally was gonna stay and just wait until the end and keep an eye on her.
Probably thinking about it the whole time. Caller, what you could have did.
No, not really.
Really uncomfortable.
I wasn't
Gilberto,
staring at her and
Gilberto, hold on real quick. Shout out to Duca Lux for the Norwegian Chrome for the 50 joint. Appreciate you. Gilberto, when she was getting your name wrong, you could have just laid down and you could have said, look, I'm going to whisper it in your ear. Come closer. And then you could have whispered it in her ear while having your hand on the small of her back, assuming that she was cool with you being that close to her. You're like, let me whisper.
She wouldn't be.
I'll spell my name in your ear. I'm going to give you a taste of what it's going to be like later.
Nope, you can't say that.
Right? I know but he ain't witty enough.
I'm getting the sense of like social autism. That's the thing that because I've got a guy who's just like
blessed.
This,
you're right.
Where it's the social autism is just it's not being able to read things. Okay, like get a feel for the energy people are giving off and the energy of the environment, and be able to read that and calibrate to it. And I don't, and like, this client of mine, he really lacks this ability. It's like, it's almost like he has autism, because part of autism, like, and this is the real part, is like not being able to read social cues. It's just, they can't do it. And I asked him, I was like, wait, are you on the spectrum? Because you really have a difficult time. Apparently he's not. And he's just so nervous that he really relies on like lines and stuff, like, all right, just tell me what to say. And it's like, yeah, I can do that a couple times, but like, what, you're gonna call me all evening, and you're gonna call me when she's lying on the bed of your hotel room? Like, what do I do next? So someone had mentioned robotic, and that's the thing, because when you have a disconnection from your identity, you're afraid of what might happen, right? You're having like anxiety about what could happen. You're afraid of rejection or this, whatever's in your head that's causing some sort of discomfort. It's going to be taking you away from actually engaging in the moment. And women have a really great innate feel for someone who's just not calibrated. Like they're like systems, their nervous system is primed to sense things that are like dysregulated, that are uncomfortable, that might make me feel unsafe, or in minimal ways. And so when a guy comes up to her and she can tell that he said his introduction in his head like 10 times before walking over there, like she can feel that on the dude, versus just something that's very just flows naturally. Whatever words come out of his mouth, it's natural. And there is a difference. And this is like kind of like when you're watching an actor in a movie, and you can tell someone is acting, and then you're watching someone who's truly talented at the craft, and you don't even think that they're acting. You're like, oh, this is that person. That is that character. They're embodying it. Right. And that there's a big difference there. And so I think that you're very uncomfortable. And this is why she sensed that off of you. I would also say that Steve talks about this too, which is basically looking at women as whores. And that's the sort of thing that comes off when you're like, the first thing you say, you start sexualizing her mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, so, but that's not to say that you should cage your sexual intent. It just means do it in a way that's cooler than that. You know, like that's very clunky. That's like taking an axe to something that you need, like, you know, you're preparing sushi and you're doing it with a fucking axe. Like, sure, it'll cut the fish, but you know, there's better blades for the job.
Okay. To your point, Mr. Justin, there is a I think I want to see if I have this clip, but I used this clip before in the video. But in the movie 48 Hours with Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy, the first 48 Hours, the original one, the classic one, in my opinion. There's a clip where Eddie Murphy's character, he's in a nightclub and he's out of prison just for 48 hours on lease. And he's telling this chick that he want to fuck, but the way that he's saying it, she's like, you can't ask me any better than that. Like, she's down to go fuck, but she's like, but the way he's doing it is very clumsy. Like, and to your point, a lot of guys, they're very clumsy with the way that they talk to women. Very, very clumsy. Like the training wheels just got taken off today. You know what I'm saying? And there's no natural feel to the conversation. It's not organic. It seems rehearsed. The guy seems very uncomfortable talking about what he's talking about because it's not normally him to say the words that he's saying. It's not. And this is what guys got to understand about your own unique personality. Okay, this is why every man is unique, because we're all different, right? So the shit that I would say, there's shit that I would say that Mr. Justin would never say. Like, nah, that shit ain't for me, right? And he has his own way of how he would communicate himself to women or convey himself to women, as do all the other fellows on the panel and also the Real Gay No Theory joint, right? There might be similarities to things, but we're all uniquely different as to how we would verbally convey ourselves to women. And that uniqueness is based on who we are as men, as people, as a person, right? That no one else can touch. Like, this is who the fuck I am. So even in your, let me just say this about your conversation. Your very first conversation with women should be like this. 6 months later, if that woman is still in your life, that shit you said to her when y'all first met, she should be like, yep, I still see it. I still see it. I still see it. That was the real him. It should never be a situation where when you very first start talking to women, within a week or two later, they realize there's something off about how he's being now. How he initially presented himself doesn't match how he's being now. Y'all got it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, caller, how many women do you talk to, like, say, in a week? And I'm not talking about online, no social media, no dating apps.
To be honest, the lady that I spoke yesterday, I spoke to two yesterday, but after that, I really have not been of any work. It's just like, this yesterday's just two, and after that, it's it.
Right. So
Really
would you say that on average it's less than one a week?
It's just two. For months now, it's just those two. Nothing else.
2 a week, right? So if what's something you're good at? Just anything in life. Is there anything that you're good at?
I'm good at writing stories for comics. I also.
Okay, all right, no, that's fine. That's fine. So you write comics.
Yeah.
You do the writing for it.
Yeah, write comics.
All right, so I come to you and I say, Gilberto, I really want to be a comic writer, right? I want to make comics. And you're like, all right, cool. And you say, so how often do you write a week? And I'm like, I write about once a week, maybe for about 20 minutes. And then I say, so how long do you think it'll take for me to get and then I'm asking you now, how long do you think it'll be for me to become a competent comic book writer if I'm doing it once a week for 20 minutes?
That would take more because you need to understand what really goes on in the structure of the story.
Exactly. So how long do you think it would take for me to become a competent comic book writer?
A really long time. I don't know. It would take a long time.
It would take a long time. Yeah. Well, same thing.
Really long time. Yeah.
Same thing, my guy. You can't talk to 2 women a week in real life and then expect that you'll become good at it. Like, you have to put in the same kind of effort that you put into becoming a comic writer. It's just like any other skill. Like and the thing is, I get it, because communication is something we take for granted. right? Once we learn how to speak, we're just like, oh yeah, that's just like what I do. But we also don't realize that it's also an art form. Like there's music lyrics, there's poetry,
It's a skill
there
set.
there's the there's hypnosis. Like think of like all the things that you could do. There's public speaking, there's coercion, there's all sorts of stuff. Think about all the various things that a voice could be used for, right? That is not just purely logistic sharing of information. It's an art form, right? And so there's like people who are good at those things and there are people who are not so good at those things, but it's because we do this naturally every single day. We take it for granted. And you can't do that. You cannot take communication for granted because, as Jay was talking about, that's how you get to the pussy that's in her mind. You know what I'm saying? Like I can get off a fucking quadriplegic just by talking to her.
So one point that I heard is the way that you say it to the lady, the way you formulate the words. But when you say that,
get Berto.
I say, let's say to me, I say it one way. Let's say, for example, when you and I were having this conversation, I was looking at the lips and I was thinking, what if I get my lips close to yours in case your lips?
Okay. Stop right there. Stop. I caught what you're doing. Gilberto. Stop. Gilberto. See, this is the problem.
Autism. These are the nuances you need coaching for.
More autism.
You keep saying, if I say it this way, then this is what you guys have to understand. There are going to be many, many instances where you're talking to a woman who doesn't want your dick no matter what the fuck you say and how you say it. Period. You're going to encounter women who just don't want you. Your problem is, and this is the PUA bullshit that's out there. Yeah. You keep thinking, I can turn it around if I say something different and say it differently. No. The woman just ain't feeling you. Now, let me just say this real quick, because I would be remiss if I don't say this. There are instances where a woman could have been attracted to you initially, but during you guys' interaction, you said and or did something that made her say, "No, I'm not fucking with him." But usually, this is what happens. Usually, she shows you interest at first and then immediately goes cold because there was something there. And then you said and or do something. But if a woman never showed you anything and she just ain't fucking with you, she just ain't fucking with you. Y'all got it.
Even with that woman, it's still a good thing because sooner or later you was going to say something she wasn't going to be down with anyway.
Right. Which means you should be authentic.
Yeah.
Don't hide
and I'll give you an example. I was bouncing at a club. There was these two friends. And I forgot what I said to one of them, but I was trying to be super smooth, right? Now, the one that I intended to talk to, that I was talking to, did not respond to it at all. She was like, She walks away. Her friend goes, chuckling at me, like, "Hey, you tried, right?" and we started talking. So just our vibe was different than the first one, right? Her friend. And so we started talking and we started hanging out and we were having good times. But initially I was trying to get at her friend, but it didn't matter what I said to her. She wasn't feeling me at all. And that's what you guys got to understand. It's okay. It is okay for her not to like you. Mm-hmm. Everybody's not going to like you. It is okay. But it's better that you like yourself instead of dancing for everybody, dancing in front of everybody. Hey, look at me. Why don't you like me? Well, okay, I heard this from Justin. He said it real smooth. Hey, girl, how you doing? Like, no, it doesn't work like that.
Yo, go see the movie. Go see the movie Obsession.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, just you need more volume. You need more practice. You need to like loosen up just your entire social acumen, bring it up rather, and loosen up your social anxiety and discomfort. And that just comes through exposure therapy. That's what you need. Is just talking, interacting, lowering your expectations of outcomes, to just become like just more comfortable with social interaction.
So, caller, one of the things that I talk about, real quick, one of the things that I talk about whenever I'm out and about, I could be at a grocery store, I could be at a convenience store getting some gas. It don't matter. I could be at the little cigar shops. Whenever I encounter people in general, but women, I always interact with women. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. Whether they are 18, 28, 58, or 88, it don't matter. I interact with women, right? All races, it doesn't matter. The problem with a lot of you guys, and I've been saying this, if the only time you talk to women is when you're trying to fuck them, you're going to have trouble. All of you motherfuckers. If the only time you interact with women is if you're trying to fuck her, you're gonna have trouble. You have to learn how to interact with women on all levels. On all levels. Even if you're not sexually attracted or even visually attracted to them, right? If you're at a cigar shops and you're buying cigars, how you doing today? Oh, I'm doing fine. All right. Well, I like your voice. There's something about your voice I like. All right. Anyway, look, I'm looking for that. Have a conversation. It don't have to be, you don't have to try and flirt with the chick on some, I'm trying to fuck her. No, on some light shit. Be a human being and have a natural interaction with women on a regular basis.
I want to put your lips close to mine and so we can put the lips together. It's like
well, because it comes through.
That's a Gilberto way.
That's a Gilberto way.
Well, it comes through, right?
You need more practice, Gilberto. You need a lot more practice, man.
Yeah.
And not only with what Kazak said, you can't just talk to women when you just want to fuck them. You need to be able to talk to everybody. Period. Everybody, everyone. You need to be able to talk to guys and girls and old ladies, old people. You know, the guy crossing the street, the dude at your job. Like, you need to be able to talk to everybody, bro, because if you're not comfortable with social interaction, it'll come through in your energy and the way that you carry yourself, and you will never get what you want from anyone, including sex. You understand?
Bro,
You'll get what you want.
Gilberto, let me just say this. I've been at grocery stores or at a post office having a lengthy conversation with a 70, 80-year-old white woman. Like, seriously, I'm in the solid area. How you doing, young man? I'm doing fine, ma'am. And we literally talking about the fucking food and about the freshness of the fucking and about how the prices is going up and shit. Right? And the problem with a lot of you guys, you don't know how to just have a natural, free-flowing back and forth with just people. Just people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. I bet. Wait, I just got one final question. Gilberto, do you how much of red pill, black pill nonsense do you consume or have you consumed?
To be honest, I'm not consuming no type of black pill or red pill. Back when I was 18, I did red pill and stuff like that. But after I started watching you guys, I said around 22, 23, around there, I really stopped doing watching that stuff.
All right. Well, because the reason why I asked is that shit will contaminate your mind, and not in a good way. It's like all of that shit is incredibly gynocentric. It will because what it does is it takes guys who are already like worshiping pussy, and it's not working for them, and then they learn about this other shit. And it just takes that same worship, but it turns it into just a different shape. It just puts a different lens on it. And so it doesn't cure the problem of worshiping women and worshiping pussy and worshiping validation. And usually just kind of makes guys bitter about it. But so I would just be very mindful, like, because this is where the basic mindset comes from, where they're just like, you know, women are like, you know, only good for fucking or whatever, right? And then that's their main pursuit because that's their only thing that they're after, and then that comes through in their words, and then that's where the girl's like, well, like even if she's attracted to you, like I don't think there's many women who want to feel like a whore at the very onset of interaction, even if she's attracted to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like she might feel fine or feeling that way a little bit later on, but like right at the gate, you know, like and that's where the red pill shit gets people thinking. You know, they're just like, all these women are worthless. They're only good for, you know, like as a sex toy, you know, just pump and dump, or like, you know, if she's for the streets, it's just for, you know, just for a good time. You know,
but also,
and that mentality just really fucks with how you think, how you behave, and how you communicate.
Also, this is what I would say too to a lot of guys. Unless you've had a lot of casual sex encounters where you met the women the same day and same night and had sex with them same day and same night, if you don't have that to look to, you're not going to know what it looks like when women are showing you that level of interest. Right, because this is what guys think. They think is always about what the woman is saying. No, once you've had sex with an exorbitant amount of women, first day, first night, there's a certain behavior that is displayed in those interactions that goes beyond what's being said. So what I mean by that is to say this: when you walk up to a young lady and you introduce yourself, and you are a flirty guy, naturally you're a flirty guy. You can tell based on how that woman is responding to your presence what it is in many cases. The problem with you guys is you're just walking up on women and just saying shit, and you're not paying attention to anything that's going on with how she is taking in your presence, right? So I can tell. I can tell when a woman is feeling my presence versus when she's lukewarm to my presence versus when she just don't even want me there. Like there's, you know what I'm saying? And you can tell.
Yep.
Yeah, I got it.
Now it's super important to be able to be able to detect, you know, the warmth, you know, the buying temperature of the, you know, of the person. And I think that's what Mr. Justin is getting at. Like there's a lot of missing awareness of nuance. There's a lot of social autism, as he put it. It's like when you're just totally oblivious to a woman's buying temperature, and it's like you really got to take that into consideration because, you know, I know a lot of these younger cats, they're deathly afraid of the whole Me Too thing, but that's what gets you in trouble with a lot of that stuff, because when you don't understand a person that's not engaged in a social interaction, but you keep pressing them or you keep saying shit and you don't realize what's going on, because a lot of guys are just so nervous or they're socially autistic and they don't want to stop because they have their ego locked into it now. So it's like, oh man, I need to say this thing. I need to finish saying what Jay Roman told me to say. I need to finish saying that whole spiel that I learned from Kay Zagan, and it becomes harassment at that point. And that's when you could get into trouble, because she already giving you the one word answers. She already not giving you eye contact. She already gave you the stink face, and you still there fucking talking to her, you know, for a minute and a half. And she, you know what I mean? Like a lot of guys got to pay attention. So it takes a certain level of confidence to even have that awareness just for that.
You know, to your point, Miles, in fact, I'm going to drop a video later on where there is footage of that happening. Let me just say this real quick to you guys. Just on some social awareness shit. Don't approach a woman from behind. Do not approach women from behind. Don't do that. So if you're in a situation where you can walk up on the side or you can walk up where they can see you coming, do that. In certain situations, approaching women from behind and you just start talking to them while you're behind them, you scare the fuck out of them. Because you just walk up on them, hey, you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? If they're sitting at a bench and there's all of this room for you to make a side or frontal approach, why would you choose to go from behind and start talking, right? It's goofy, right? So, but there's a video I'm gonna show you guys, and to Miles, your point, in that video, the woman jumped up and moved away from the guy, and he kept talking. And they're like, you don't see? She's scared, bruh.
Right.
So, and this is what guys think. This goes to that whole sickness of you got to make a woman comfortable. So if you believe you have to make a woman comfortable, that also means you believe she's in a state of discomfort. So you have to make her comfortable with your conversation. So if you're trying to introduce yourself and you see, oh, she's not comfortable yet. Okay, let me keep talking and she'll see that I really mean no harm and that I'm a cool guy. And all you're doing is your presence made her uncomfortable. And you continuing to speak to her is making her even more uncomfortable. And you're so aloof and so goofy that you got to push through her resistance. She doesn't know you yet. Just keep talking and she'll get to know you through what you're saying. No, guys.
Right, don't work that way. But listen, guys, we've been on the phone with this guy for 40 minutes now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let him go, and plus I got to get up out of here as well. So
thank you so much, and I will keep on watching the live stream.
All right, Gilberto, appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, we knew you had to go, man. You got the chain rocking with the sparkly shirt,
sparkly shirt. Got some place. Look like I got some place to be.
Look like you about to do something. Go on.
All right, fellas, I appreciate y'all, man. Right. Y'all have a great rest of the show and enjoy your Saturday.
All right, Miles, please.
That's what, that's why initially I kind of seen it from the very jump with that caller that he needs more than just he needs to be coached by someone. I don't think individuals really know how individual you can be and still get the results you want. Just like I have a buddy that he's from Romania, right? Now, known him for the last 20 years. Does he speak English? Yes, he does very well. But somehow he always goes up to a lady and goes, my English is not so well. This is what I'm trying to say. And so he's hitting on them, but like, how do I say your eyes are really beautiful, or like, and it just has them pause for a minute because they're like, oh yeah, I'll help you. What are you trying to say? And then he starts talking to them, and he's talking to them, and I'm looking at him like, that's something I can't do. I can't go, hey, my English is not so well. It's not going to work. Like,
he's using it to his advantage because he understands that I have a situation that's a bit challenging, so I'm going to address it while also trying to flirt. I'm going to address it head on.
But naturally, sometimes individuals don't know that some guys, when you talk to ladies, your voice go down. You're not loud enough for them to hear you.
Yes.
Like your volume goes down. Sometimes, you have to be really aware about yourself. And that's the thing. There's so much stuff to be worked on about you to not. Your first thing is like, okay, what I said, can I kiss your lips? Something went wrong. What went wrong? Like, there's a whole bunch to work on yourself about before you even get to that point. And there's the confidence in it.
Mm-hmm. No, I told these guys that where English is their second language or even their third language. Sometimes a lot of guys in Europe speak 3 languages. But I said, tell the woman what you want to tell her in your birth language. And then come out and tell her what it means in English. Right? And I tell guys, take advantage of the fact that you have an accent. Take advantage of that. Take advantage of the fact that you're from wherever you're from, because that in of itself can create a conversation that can lead to another conversation. So take advantage of your differences, especially if you're somewhere where women don't typically run into guys who are from where you're from. Why wouldn't you take advantage of it? You know what I'm saying? So, and now it don't guarantee nothing is going to happen, but take advantage of that. Don't allow that to be a hindrance to you. Oh, well, my English is bad. I'm going to struggle with women. Or even the guy that was from, where was he from? Japan last week. The guy that was from Japan. Don't let that be a hindrance. You can communicate in English, and then you can tell women, well, in Japanese, this is what I mean to say, or this in French, this is what I mean to say. where you can try and connect the dots so the woman can understand fully what you're trying to convey to her. Like, don't the whole language barrier, that's an excuse, because that can actually be a silver lining if you know how to work that. But guys, real quick, normally we do stay for until 1 o'clock, which will be I believe 2 o'clock Eastern. Yeah, 2 o'clock Eastern. But we're not going to be here that long if you guys don't call in or if you don't have any questions. So again, if you have a question, put a Q in the chat followed by your question. Well, calling in, that's not going to happen, right? But if you have a question, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and ask some questions now. Yeah, or we can all get out of here right behind Miles and shit. Pause. So
I did a recent search about like sexual activity. And according to surveys, the CDC, and this one other national organization, but sexual activity over the past 10 years or so, 10, 15 years, has actually been going down. Both like with men and women. It's more drastic with men, but even with women, even with all the access that they can have, it's going down. And there's a lot of factors that play into that. Social, cultural, financial, all these things, because typically, like, when people are stressed out, they're not really looking to sex. Like, sex becomes sort of like a leisurely sort of thing that people seek out and have, enjoy when things are good. And I think this is why more people were fucking in the 80s and 90s, because just life was just not as damn stressful. But there is something, like, there is a silver lining to that. And that means that if you are a man who's taking action, that means you've got far less competition. This whole thing of guys being like, well, I can't talk to her because, her inbox is full of tons of dudes, you know what I mean? And it's like, no, not really. It's going to be maybe dudes that she's not interested in. But the fact of the matter is that, like, the in-person effect is much greater. And so I think that, if guys are not if taking action, that means the ones that are, you kind of have a leg up, and you should take advantage of this time. Because, like, I live in New York City. I go out from time to time. I go to restaurants, I go to bars, and for the most part, I see women there sitting with their girlfriends. I'm not seeing them out with men.
I see a lot of that.
Yeah. And these girls,
women
they really, really want to go on dates. Now, that's not saying like you have to take them on the dates that they're looking for.
They want to be hit on.
Right. But they're not getting hit on. They're not going out with men. And it's not because they don't want to. I think they really do. Like, girls love that shit. Like, the fundamentals of, like, a woman's core is never going to change. Right. And so it's like, so just understand, like, if you've got discomfort or fears around this stuff, get over it and take action in your city or your town. Don't get lost in your head or with this bullshit that the red pill wants to put out here about girls.
Well, you have a lot of guys who believe that they're unworthy, right? And they put sex on a pedestal. They think sex is this super special thing. Right, and someone said it in the chat earlier. I believe it was Duke Lux. He was talking about how shout out to Mr. 1950. How being a player has nothing to do with how many women you slept with, and there's validity to that. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely, because here's the guys think, oh, if you slept with like 100 women, that's some big thing. No, it's not. No, it's not. In fact, there are guys who you could say are players that might have slept with only 20, 25 women, but they're way more selective than a guy who slept with a bunch of women. They're just way more selective. So guys think that, oh, I should just be fucking women and until the cows come home. No, you have to be way more selective. And shout out to Myron, but he talked about how every man should have 50 sexual partners by a certain age. No, that's bad advice. That's bad advice, right? And I say that to say this. And we alluded to this earlier when we first started the show. A lot of guys, you don't have the right mentality to indulge in casual sex encounters. You don't, because what happens is, especially you guys that have that Madonna whore complex, where you believe in the virtuous good girl with all these super morals, and then this whorish bad girl, and you have these different theories and false beliefs about sex, this parabonding shit and all. For you guys that have those hangups, you trying to participate in casual sex encounters, it's not good for you. Because what's going to happen is you're going to meet women who are showing sexual interest, and you're going to automatically think she's a whore. And then you're going to meet other women who basically attempt to withhold sex from you, and they play with the sex, and you're going to think, oh, she's the virtuous good girl I've been looking for. No. I told you guys, I had a client, and shout out to him. I look forward to hearing from you soon. But he ran into that where he met a woman. She played hard to get with the sex. He assumed that she was a certain way, only to find out that he made her his girlfriend in 3 months, less than 3 months, which was dumb. And I told him he was wrong. He tried to argue with me. And I said, you fucked up, and you're going to pay the price for fucking up. Sure enough, he found out the chick not only was cheating on him, but was cheating on him with multiple guys at the same time. So his virtuous good girl theory went out the fucking window, right? Yeah. Because he has false beliefs about women and sex.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just one and the same. Maybe socially they might lean this way or that, but inside every whore is a good little girl. And inside every good little girl is a filthy whore. It's just, slightly different shades, right? It's like different shades of gray.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've said this about women. Women are chameleons, in a sense that they would play whatever role they need to play to get what it is they want, need, or desire from that situation. Meaning this, a woman could meet a guy and she could be not only attracted to him enough to want to have sex with him, but she could be attracted to him enough to want to be seriously dated by this man. But if she's attracted to this guy enough sexually, and he's like, nah, we just doing a sex thing, and until I decide otherwise, she's gonna go with that, right? Now, conversely, if a woman meets a guy and he seems like he would be a good fit long term, like he might be a good boyfriend, good husband, maybe even a potential good father, and he speaks a certain way about sex, she's gonna know, oh, I can't show him that dirty side of me because he'll think I'm a whore. And if he thinks I'm a whore, then I won't get to that other part that I want. There's things about him that I want to get to that I won't get to. So let me not fuck him just yet. Right? And she'll play whatever role she needs to play. So this is why a lot of guys think that the stay-at-home chick who don't really go out, and there are women who don't smoke, who don't drink, who really don't curse like that. You won't really see them in bars and clubs like that, but they still love dick though. They just, and Mr. Justin, you said it earlier, they're more mindful of their public image and their persona. A prime example might be a high-powered attorney, an unmarried judge, right? Certain women in certain fields, they're not going to want to have a whorish persona public. They're not going to want that because it's going to fuck with other endeavors. So they're going to move very, very quietly with what they do and how they do it publicly. Just understand it.
Yeah, and uncalibrated guys will be like, oh yeah, but I know you're a whore, like behind closed doors. So I'm going to not talk to you, in a way that's like socially calibrated. I'm going to just come off like I know exactly what you are. So I'm going to communicate with you that way. And it's like, that's not going to bring her out.
That's not exactly, because bring her out. You said it. And to your point, there are some women who they wear their sexuality on their sleeve. Meaning when you're encountering them at bars and clubs, they make it clear that they about it, and they about it now. And you have other women that they don't always make it as clear. They're a little more subtle.
Sure.
I'm a little more covert with how they move. For that, now, to your point, you can bring it out. Like I'll give you a case in point. I have a client. Sometime back, he was in a club or a bar, and he was talking to this young lady, and she was around her friends, and she was interested in him. So he leans in and he's whispering in her ear, and he said something about kissing her, and she said, "Not here." So she grabs his hand and they walk off away from her friends in some little dark area, and then she wants to make out there. So then at some point she sees one of her friends walking and she stops. She's like, hold on. And she waited till that friend passed. I said all that to say this. There are women who move a certain way sexually and they don't want their friends to know how they move because there's a certain image they have even with some of their friends, which is why you'll see some women go out by themselves. So that way they can move how they really want to move without being judged by their friends because maybe they work somewhere. They have a certain job title. So they don't want to fuck that up in front of certain people.
Right. Or in a different part of the area, you know, like let's say
exactly
they live and work in the Bronx and then they go into Brooklyn instead.
There you go.
There's a couple of questions in the chat. There's a one at 135 and another one at 138.
At 135, who?
Well, my time.
Who said
yeah.
Who said it? Who?
It was 135 was at CT Rude Boy.
Oh, I see it right there.
Yeah, asking about package size.
All right, go ahead, Justin. You got it.
Yeah. Well, for the most part, like most guys are, have like an average dick size, and they worry about this because they listen to too many people. They get shit in their head. They start, they create their own insecurities. Now, if they've got like sub-average, and this is, like you're like 3 inches or some shit, this is certainly, gonna fuck with your head. And I don't think that coaching is going to be good for that. I think that therapy would be the better path. That said, for guys who like worry about this and they're average and they're worried about not being above average, the vaginal canal of most women is only 4 inches deep.
Exactly.
Right. Just putting that out there. Like, so like the average dude, I think is like 5.5 inches. Right. That's plenty for most women.
For most women. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Like girls who are like size queens. That's a rare kink. Right.
Well, you know what it is, Mr. Justin? A lot of these guys, they watch too much porn. This is what I'm noticing about this generation of men, and even some, that was born a little after us, is because when we were younger, we had access to, Playboy and all that other shit.
Right.
But
maybe the occasional penthouse.
In the occasional penthouse, right? But we didn't really have access to porn like they do now.
Oh, yeah.
So these
the average young man sees more dicks than we ever did.
So a lot of these guys, a lot of these guys got BBC phobia, and what I mean by that is this: it's not just about black dick. It's about, like you said, they spend too much time watching so much porn, as they compare themselves to what they see on porn, so they instantly think, oh, when I go out there in the real world, I'm going to be judged because I'm not packing what I'm seeing. And this is what you guys got to understand. To your point, Mr. Justin, and it's a fact that and women will tell you in the real world, for a lot of them, that shit might be good to look at, but they're not trying to come home to shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the average size is good enough. But here's the thing I would tell guys. Let me just tell guys this story real quick. One of my exes told me a story. She went to a strip club in Detroit, I believe it was in Detroit. So it was mainly a black male strip club, male strippers. There was one white guy in there, right? And he wasn't working with, and this has nothing to do, let me just say this. Dick size has nothing to do with race. There are stereotypes that aren't necessarily true, and women will tell you that, right? Mm-hmm. So let me say this. Let me just say this about that. So this guy, the white guy was a stripper, and he wasn't necessarily working with what some of the other guys were working with, but he had a routine though, right? So when he got on stage, he had a pie. And the way he ate that pie on stage had all them women going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I said all that to say this. If your dick size is a concern, there's other ways you can please women, right? You can make women orgasm, and Mr. Justin, you said it earlier, you can make women orgasm without even touching them. You can talk to a woman and have her busting all over herself. Also, your fingers and your tongue. If you are insecure about your dick size, you better become an avid pussy eater. It better be, if someone asks you if you want some real food or pussy, you be like, pussy, nigga, pussy. I gotta eat some pussy, right? You better become good at that shit if that's what you're worried about, right? And I'm not saying become good at it so you can keep women around. What I'm saying is, if you're that insecure about your penis size, do something about it then. Do something about it instead of worrying about it. Real quick, and I'll pass it right back to y'all. And this is what I realized about guys who were insecure about their dick size. And I had a client, and I figured it out. I didn't know he was insecure about that at first. But what I noticed was he had this habit of always wanting to be really romantic with chicks right away. And he wanted to take women out on multiple dates before bringing up sex. And I asked him, I said, is this what you really want to do, bro? You want to do all of this shit? And he was like, not really. I just feel like, and I asked him, I said, are you insecure about your dick size or something? And he was like, well, Zach, yeah, I kind of am. And I'm like, I get what you're doing. And what a lot of you guys are doing is you're trying to get the woman attached to you, non-sexually. So if and when you do fuck, she won't use your dick size against you.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you that that's a very dangerous game you're playing with yourself. Because what can happen is you can find yourself getting emotionally attached to that woman within that time frame, and she ain't feeling you like that. And, and then you guys have sex, and it's a problem. Go ahead, Justin.
CT Rude Boy, you're young, aren't you? Because I see you communicating here with like simple emojis, like a crying guy after we're talking about some truths here.
He admitted to doing that shit.
Right, you're young. So yeah, I would stop watching porn. It'll take a little while for your brain to like de-rot, and go talk to a therapist, because I'm guessing that chances are they got an average sized dick and your head is all fucked up. Like physiologically, there's probably nothing's wrong. Everything's probably just fine.
Yeah. Let me say this real quick for all you guys, because there's a common theme. A lot of these guys, I call them internet babies, meaning a lot of the shit they do is always online. A lot of their interaction with women is online. That's the only time they really see women naked. I'm not trying to clown guys. I'm just, for a lot of these guys, that's the only time they see attractive women naked is through images and vids and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So if you're getting a lot of your interaction with images of women, and you're online and you're listening to red pill shit, black pill shit, and then you're watching porn, it's gonna, like you said, it's gonna fuck your head up. Mm-hmm. It's gonna fuck you up, because now you're thinking, I'm not cute enough for these bitches. My dick ain't big enough for these bitches. I ain't got enough money for these bitches. I'm worthless. I'm nothing. Women will never want me. That's what happens. And you think there's nothing I could ever do to get a woman, because I have nothing a woman would want. And here's the reality. Yes, there are some women who would want you, but you don't want yourself, and that's the problem.
Yeah, there's a comedian. I like the way he put it, right? I was at one of those comedian shows, and he's like, yeah, ladies, I'm about this size or whatever, right? And they're all laughing. And he's like, well, it's not like when I was being made, I stood in a line and said, hey, make me super intelligent and give me this mediocre sized dick, right? So, he says, I had no choice on it. He goes, but who does have a choice? You have a choice how big that vagina gets. Stop shoving watermelons in it, and it won't, you won't have to it won't have to be so big where you can't feel nothing. So, he just made a joke out of it, and it's kind of funny. Like, sometimes you just gotta accept the things that are what they are, unless you can change them. And I find that a lot of people have a hard time accepting things just for what they are. I've seen the opposite, where there's some ladies that don't want to mess with you because they feel like you are too big.
Yeah, you might wreck their shit.
Right. And so they like, hey, yo, I'm not dealing with that. Like, you gotta, you're gonna
put that where? You're gonna do what with that?
Exactamundo. And there's some ladies that has directly said this is the size they like. This is what I like to do. So I say that mainly to say, like, a lot of times you try to get everybody, not realizing that it ain't everybody that you really want. This is what you really want. And I think there's a facade of, I need to do everybody and everything to feel a certain way, to feel manly, to feel all this stuff. sometimes you got to just be straight up. This is what it is. Somebody's going to accept it, not accept it. Boom. That's that. Like,
Well,
you can't.
And there's a silver lining too.
Yeah.
Like if you got like average or small, the silver lining is that you get to enjoy deep throats to the hilt. Right, like
There you go.
really big dudes, they will never get the sensation of having like the entire length, right? Unless like very, very like rare girls, you know what I mean? Like who
Unless
can
they're
win
really
girls.
talented.
With no
Right,
gag.
I'm
With no
saying like
gag
that
Yeah.
takes training, not just the gag
Yeah.
reflex, but the tissue stretching. Like that takes practice, like years of practice. You know what I'm saying? That's rare. But you get like average or small dick, like you're gonna have no problem, right? Experiencing something that these like horse dick motherfuckers will never get to experience. That said,
You'll never get this hand
to the
stopping
other,
you, which is
that
very irritating.
right.
The hand, it's too big for that area. You'll never get that.
Well, and that said, to the other hole, every dick is big. So if you like to fuck that way, but I'm just saying, the other hole, like every dick feels too big. So there's that too.
Well, and let me just say this about being a good lover. Just guys, be a well-rounded lover. Just know what you're doing. Guys, let me just say this. I want guys to really understand what I'm about to say. Don't find out how to be good at sex for women. Find out how to be good at sex for yourself so you can enjoy it to the optimum levels, right? So you can enjoy it. Like, I'll use myself as an example. One of the things that I used to always like to do is when I would first start having sex with women, I like to have sex in a public place because that's what I like. But also, I just want to see how submissive chicks are too, right? Because my thing is, if she tells me no, then I know that she's not 100% into the way I like to have sex. If that's the case, I can never make her my girl, ever, right? So I know that out the gate. But my thing is, there are things that I like sexually that I have no qualms about introducing early on. Okay, period, right? And that's why, and that's one of the reasons why you need to deal with multiple women. Sexual compatibility and sexual chemistry is extremely important. Sex is one of the first things when we talk about attraction. That's one of the first things that's there, the first line of defense, if you will. When you very first meet people, that's one of the first things that's usually obvious, whether or not it's mutual sexual attraction there or not. So sex is usually the easiest thing to find out if there's a mutual fit, right? When you talk about dealing with women and actually having a woman under your wing and providing guidance to that woman and instruction, that's usually way more time consuming, right? To find out whether or not she's a good fit long term. That's the non-sexual aspect. That takes more time to cultivate, right? Now, when you talk about sex, now, Mr. Justin, I know you into the sub thing, so I'm sure that part of it, there might take more time cultivating, getting a woman exactly where you want her, simply because you got to get rid of all of the old shit. But for all you guys that do regular sex, right? This is why even when we talk about size, to your point, Jay Roman, when you ease up in it, if you just fall into the balls right away, that might not be the fit you want, right? That might not be, you typically want it to be snug. You don't want it to just you just in there like, she looking at you like you in there. You don't want it to be like that, right? Right. I had this guy I knew one time. He was complaining about this chick he was fucking. Like, man, she's just too deep. And I'm like, or you're just not big enough. I'm like, so why would you complain about it? Like, if you don't like the fit, that ain't the chick, right? And that's another thing, guys. You cannot allow your loneliness or your desire for companionship keep you around a woman where it's not a good sexual fit for you. Because if it's not a good sexual fit, that's going to hasten the pace for her to end up cheating on you. I'm letting you know, if women are not sexually satisfied, they're not going to stay in a committed sexually exclusive relationship where they're not sexually satisfied. They might stay in a relationship.
You can't tell them that, Zach. They're going to get scared.
Yeah, now he's like, I'm too. And that's the part that I really, right. I wrote this down before I even, was balanced. like life is about a balance of things, right? Earlier, Justin, you were making a comment about making sure your fantasies don't trump reality, right? That the reality, like you want to say, hey, I am the man, but at the same time, you don't want it to be false. You don't want to have a falsified image of yourself. It has to be in reality. And dealing with that reality in a balanced way. And, you telling them she gonna bounce. Well, in all actually, there's a whole spectrum, an onion that has to be peeled back to satisfy that lady. And then on top of that, you have to not care too at the same time. Right? So it's like, hey, I want to be a great lover, but I gotta not care too at the same time, because I want to create this sort of balanced individual where the world and its attitudes and every trend I'm not following. I want to make sure that I am my own individual, my own circumstances. I project.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead.
I'm just
yeah. Then we gotta get to Martavius here.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's get to Martavius.
Yeah. So he says, does sexual confidence come from being desired or knowing I am desirable, or both? This is what I will say, and I'll pass it to the fellas. The very first time I had sex, I was confident. I had no clue what the fuck I was doing. But when I say I was confident, this is what I mean by when I say I was confident. No negative thought crept into my head about sex at all. I didn't think about what is she thinking about? What if she don't like it? What if I ain't... I didn't think not one negative thought at all the very first time I had sex. I was excited to have sex. I was just like, let's do this. And when I actually had sex, even though I didn't know what I was doing, whatever I was doing to her worked for her. She liked the fuck out of it. You know what I'm saying? She had no clue it was my first time, put it that way. But this is what I would say that I developed. I developed sexual competence, meaning I was paying attention to how the women were responding to me. I was paying attention. So I just became more competent at fucking. So that made me just want to fuck more. That's all that did. But y'all got it.
Yeah, I'd say that this question they're virtually the same thing. Come from being desired or knowing you're desirable. Basically, wait. I'm reading this different. Like knowing you're desirable from oneself. So the part about being desired, like that's leaning on the perceptions of others, saying like, oh, you think I'm good at this,
Exactly.
therefore that must mean I am. And this is a dangerous place to be as a man, because that all that stuff, so like everything that we are, do, have, believe, it's all tied into our identity. So that means if you have this idea that you're leaning on the perceptions and the receptivity of others, that means that your identity is also partially laid up into that. And it's a dangerous game to play. So because if like too many people are like, nah, like I don't desire you, then that causes a scar on your identity. So you shouldn't have some like that relationship between the outside and the inside. Like, oh, if this is the consensus, then that means this about me.
Exactly.
I wouldn't go down that road. Now, knowing you're desirable, knowledge comes from information, right? So yes, in the sense that you can have confidence because you've done something enough to the point where you have knowledge. And like I've got great sexual knowledge, and so I have confidence in my knowledge, such to the point that I teach it. And so, but what I think is, if someone hasn't the knowledge based on the accumulation of information, then it should be shifted to believing that you are desirable, right? And that comes from, like, the root of it is not rejecting the self, right? Like, you can't believe that you're desirable if you can also go home at night and when the house is quiet and you have all these negative thoughts about yourself. You've got self-doubt, you've got self-criticism, you got negativity. Like, you can't have that and believe that you're desirable.
My perception is you have to have that belief and be desirable, and believe it with confidence. But the balance is knowing that, you may not be everybody's type. I'm desirable, but I may not be everybody's type. In my head, I'm your type. You just don't know it yet. That's my belief. Like, so, it's just one of those things where balance of your reality and wants of being desirable, but it may not be understanding it may not be everybody desirable. And I don't think there's anybody on this world that's just desired by everybody.
No,
So
impossible.
It's impossible. Even some of the finest guys that all the ladies would talk about, there's one lady be like, yeah, I really don't like those light colored eyes. It's kind of weird, so you're never going to be desired by everybody. Hence the confidence itself, where you have to understand that, I'm desirable, but it may not just be you. I'm your type. You don't know it yet. Now, if you take the time to get to know me, then that's something different. But from there, so I'm with you. You can't sit at the house by yourself and have these negative thoughts and then tell everybody you're a confident person. It's not true. So live in reality.
Blowing smoke up your own ass.
Yeah. Live in reality. Don't tickle your own ears. And if you're not good at something or you need to work on something, then work on it. Then go from there. So, action. Take action to be what you really want to be.
Let me let me say this real quick.
And I gotta bounce out of here.
Okay. You young men, okay, sexual confidence, again, it's not just about your physical ability. My thing was, I was always confident that I knew what I wanted from the sex and that I knew how to get the feeling that I wanted. And it just so happens that the women like it too. So the problem with sexual confidence, guys, they look at the woman. Is she telling me I'm doing good? And like you said, Mr. That's dangerous to rely on a woman's verbal reassurance. Oh, you're the best I've ever had. Oh, I've never came so many times. Oh, this is the wettest it's ever gotten. You do not want to go down a rabbit hole of, even if it's true, what she is saying. It literally has to go in one ear and out the other. You cannot let that sit on your consciousness.
Almost as if you've heard it 1,000 times.
Exactly.
Before. Even if you haven't,
exactly,
you treat it that way.
And be honest. And be honest. I'm about to get out of here too, guys. But my last look, you got to be honest. The first time I really had sex, I let the person know I wasn't that experienced, and she was older and she was way more experienced than me. But it didn't stop whatever we had going on. But I had to be honest. All the other times I was rabbit punching. This is the first time I was really, going to have sex. Saying this was it. We will take our time and had
so when you talk about rabbit punching, are you talking about dry humping? You talking about dry humping or clothes burning? Is that what you're talking about?
No. See, I lost my virginity at a real young age, which I wouldn't recommend anybody, because it's you don't learn a lot. You don't learn nothing from it. You're just rabbit punching. So for the next 5 years, I was rabbit punching. You're doing the motions, you're going through it, but you're not. You get the feeling, because the feeling. It has nothing to do with her at all, too.
Right, you're not doing nothing though.
Yeah, you're not doing anything. You're not vibing. You're not.
Yeah, there you go. It's
just
no
getting
true
in it.
chemistry.
Yeah,
it's
creating anything. Yeah.
So you're in there and you're just trying to hold on to hey, you coming? I'm coming. Okay, and doing that, but and those are two different experiences, right? When like, okay, if I touch you here, or I touch your neck there, or if I go down like this,
and erogenous zone,
if I'm doing this here and I take my finger and rub it up your spine, it's going to give you a certain feeling as I'm stroking that like you start to learn how to move, press it in the middle of their freaking
not
foot.
every woman responds to the same to exactly what you did with the last woman.
Right.
Response
Pressing that in the middle of the foot and rubbing your finger while you're going deep. Like all that stuff you learn that gives you more, I guess, sexual confidence. But the confidence is being able to be whoever you are in that moment, right? It doesn't matter if it's sex or not. So my thing is that prior to, I knew nothing. I was just rabbit punching, and that was it, And then finally, when things were going to be laid down, and I start to kind of explore my mind, like, oh, I want to try this, I want to do this. It would just so happen it was with somebody older, and I had to let her know, hey, this is all I've been doing. I want to do this. So it was almost like I was still a virgin again. So, but honesty about where you are at and who you are is part of that confidence, because it doesn't matter. I'm, representing myself truthfully.
Mm-hmm. On that note, where can I find you, Mr. Justin? J. Roman, where can I find you?
Yeah, if anybody wants to connect with me, just go to thedominancecademy.com. There's a contact tab at the top of the screen. And you can ask me any questions from there. You can also sign up for my free consultations via that website as well. And if you want to become a student of mine at the Academy, there's information on that tab as well, or you can send me an email through the website. Ask me any questions you like, and we can take it from there.
J. Roman, where can I find you at, brother?
Yeah, jromanway@gmail.com. Email me and I'll email you back, and we'll set up something if you want a consultation. If not, you can find me on Saturdays right here on the show with Zach, K. Zaggin. And don't forget about tomorrow's show, Real Game, No Theory. Tomorrow, always a great show. And like always, it's a pleasure, Justin, and thanks for having me on, Zach.
Likewise.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. I appreciate you, gentlemen, and shout out to Miles. Let me just say this in closing, because Kevin asked a real quick question. I don't know what the fuck irrational confidence is. Let me just say this about all of these terms. Guys, all of these YouTube and dating terms, get that shit out of your vocabulary, please. Just get it out of your vocabulary. It's causing you to overthink shit, right? And you're creating too many moving parts in your head, and you're confusing yourself. On that note, appreciate you gentlemen coming through. We're going to holler at y'all. Peace.